Hello everybody, welcome to my studio. My name is Lonna Lamb and I am an acrylic artist. Thank you so much for stopping in today. If you have never been to my YouTube channel or come to my studio before, I am an acrylic artist and I paint with acrylics on many different surfaces in several different styles. I specialize in decorative painting, but I am so glad that you are here today. If you have not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It is free to all of you and I appreciate it. Please hit the notification bell so you know anytime I go live or have a video coming out. Please comment, please like, and please share. It all helps me get out to more people to help teach them how to paint, because teaching is my passion. I absolutely love painting and love teaching. For me, it is my relaxing time. So thank you so much for being here today. Let's take a look at what we're going to be painting today. We're going to paint this lovely design. I absolutely love this. So retro, so much fun. I've titled it Life is Better in Flip-Flops, obviously. And this surface is available from cdwood.com. This is one of their postage stamp surfaces. It is a 9x12 surface. Lots of fun to paint on. I am going to be using Deco Art Americana acrylic paints on this one. So I hope you're going to grab your paints and paint along. You can grab a full packet for this design, which includes step-by-step written instructions, step-by-step color photos, a line drawing, a full color photo, and a list of everything that I use to create this beautiful design. So I hope you're going to grab your paints, head to lonnalamb.com and grab that packet, and let's get painting. Alright, we're going to start this surface. This is a 9x12 postage stamp surface from cdwood.com. I will try and link the exact page that this is on their website. They have several different kinds of postage stamp surfaces. I have already applied a coat of multi-purpose sealer on both sides because I will probably paint something completely different on the other side. So I want to lightly sand this before I start applying my paint. You can use a brown paper bag to lightly sand as well, get a nice smooth surface. This is going to keep the paint from soaking into the wood and also help it stick to the wood. So I'm going to use my 2-inch foam roller and apply 2 coats of white paint on my background. So I'll get this coat on, I will let it dry and apply a second coat. If the second coat I don't feel like is covering up this dark background, then I will apply a third coat. This is I'm applying it very lightly with this roller. And on my third coat, I really only need to go around the border because we're going to tape off and probably paint the inside a different color. The inside in here, in the middle. So, but I think 2 coats might get this. 1 coat did a fairly decent job of covering. So I'm going to get this dry and apply a second coat. Okay, so my surface is completely dry now. I went ahead and painted the other side because now it is prepped for me to paint a whole completely different design on the other side if I would like to. I want to tape off a border on this, so I'm just going to use Scotch tape and tape off the edge. I'm going to line it up with the edge of the surface. And I'm going to do all 4 sides. I am going to tuck the ends over on themselves so they don't stick to my tabletop. Plus it gives me someplace easy to grab a hold of when I'm ready to remove all of the tape. So just fold it over so it doesn't stick to anything. All 4 sides right on that edge. Fold it over, fold it over, section. And this one could have been a tad bit longer, so I'm going to put it close to the edge over here. And I'll only have one end that I will fold over. And then our last end here, our side. Definitely made this one long enough. Okay, tape it, fold it over. This one's really, really long. Doesn't need to be this long. Okay. Alright, so this is the top with the holes. We just want to make sure that tape is pressed down good, because we're going to leave that border white and paint the inside of this area now. So I'm going to grab a foam plate and my 2-inch foam roller to paint the inside of this area. Okay, I've got my plate here and my roller, and it's damp, and we're going to use Spa Blue. I think this is still a color that is continued. It's not discontinued. We're going to make this our background color. I think this will be a really good fun color for this project. So I want to apply 2 coats on here. I want to try not to get too much paint on my roller. I definitely don't want a lot of moisture on my roller, but it does need to be damp so that the paint will come out of it. I don't want to cause any lifting on that tape. Moisture will make it lift a little bit. But to be honest with you, I've used Scotch tape for a lot of years and I've never had any issue with it lifting or bleeding under. It's always given me nice, clean, crisp lines. Okay, so there is 1 coat on there. I'm kind of liking it with just 1 coat. Very kind of subtle there. Let me hold it up in the light and see. I think we'll just go with 1 coat on there. I think 1 coat's going to be all we really need. Just get all the paint off my plate there and use it all up. So yeah, I think 1 coat with that white underneath it is going to be plenty with what we're going to be putting on top of this. I don't think we'll need any more than that. So 1 coat, and then we're just going to remove the tape that we just put on and reveal our nice, crisp, clean lines. Look at that. So gorgeous. I absolutely love that. Okay, we're going to get this dry and we are going to get our line drawing on then. Okay, my background is dry. We're going to put our line drawing on now. The only thing I want to transfer at this point is my flip-flops. So I'm going to, my piece of tracing paper is cut the exact size of this surface. So I'm going to lay it on there and slide my gray graphite underneath the paper. I'm going to only transfer on my flip-flops at this time, so I'll do this one and then I'll move over and do that one. Get all the lines. We are going to be doing some floral design on these flip-flops, but we're going to add that after we get our base coats on. Okay, I got all the lines for that one, so I'm going to move this over and to do this one.
wonky. Make sure you hold your pattern down nice and flat so you don't get any bunching in the tracing paper. Once I got that one, let me double check before I lift my line drawing off. So we've got the line drawing on here. I'll hold it up so you can see it. Okay, it's not super dark. My grade transfer paper is not a really dark brand. It's one I've had for a long time, so I don't even know what brand it is. So we are going to start there and start adding our base coats in now that we have our line drawing on. So I'm going to grab my easel and get it up here so we can get closer. Okay, so before we start painting these shoes on, I want to do a little bit to the background here. I'm trying to create a more 60s style looking painting. So we'll see. So I want to do some different things to the background. So I've got several colors out here on my palette because, you know, 60s and 70s, bright colors. And they are also lots of geometric or unusual shapes in the background. So we're going to try to go for that look on here. So I'll just start with this bright blue here. Let me get some of that moisture out of my brush. And I just want to put in some random shapes in here. You know, like some squares and you know, you could use this, you could do this with a stencil. You could put circles in. They can be unusual shapes. They do not have to be squares or rectangles. They can be different kind of shapes. Okay, I'm going to do one more, maybe a small rectangle over here. Okay, we're going to be outlining all of this with some black at the end. My flip-flops are going to be a very light color to start with. Okay, so that feels pretty dry, so I want to put another block. I think I'm going to have to add some white to this to make it opaque. It is not opaque at all. That is Paradise Green, and I thought it was a much more opaque. I might have to grab a different color. That one is just not doing it for me. I grabbed some Paradise or Bluegrass Green, so I'm gonna give this one a shot. I just wiped that off with water, so. And I'm not really concerned about, you know, the shape of things because we're gonna outline it so loosely and creatively with our black at the end. Okay. Maybe we'll just start out with, now you could put all of these in if you have a stencil that has all of these shapes. You could certainly do it that way. Stencil all these shapes on the background. That would be very, very cool looking. And I think I might go off camera and retape my edges so that maybe I could take some of this stuff up to the edge. Let's just do a straight line there. Why not? We'll go right up to the flip-flop there, like that shape is going behind. And I am not going to probably repeat on these colors because I want them to be very organic looking. This is kind of all background stuff anyway, so I have to get another little wiggly line on here to kind of go with that wiggly line. So maybe I'll use this we might come in here and add more. I'm going to do a white line beside this one. And maybe a white circle down here. Okay, we're going to do the base of the flip-flops. This buttermilk color, and we'll definitely have to apply 2 coats to cover up this spa blue. So go around your straps because we're going to make them a different color. And it will take 2 coats. I'm back to my 12 flat here. So I design right on camera, so you're seeing all my thought process as I build this design. I've got an idea of how I want it to look, but we'll see if it turns out. I kind of feel like I want to do some stamping in the background, but I don't know. I don't know yet. Okay, I've got 2 coats on there. It's drying. If yours needs a 3rd coat, then apply a 3rd coat. I highly recommend, if you do a 3rd coat, that you thin it with some water, because you're just probably trying to fill in some areas that, you know, the paint didn't quite cover. So, you know, you don't have to do heavy paint. I don't generally try to do heavy paint on any of my coats. I always try to add water, a little bit of water, to give it a nice flow consistency, unless my paint is already extremely thin. I'm just going back over my white areas. They were not standing out very well. And I might go ahead and go over all my other colors because I feel like they could be a little bit brighter. I might add a little bit of white to my turquoise here. I don't want it to get it the same color as the background, but I would like it to be a little bit brighter. Now, I made a stencil for my lettering, and I also went ahead when I made it, added some shapes on there, just some squares and circles, no wiggly lines or anything like that. So when we use the stencil here later, that is an option that you can use to put these shapes in, or you can use that stencil to apply a whole nother shape on top. Okay. And this bright green here. Bright colors were the things for the 60s and 70s. We're going to do some bright colors on the flip-flops. We have lettering to go on here, so some of this will... I'm not sure I like that particular color. I don't know, I'm going to put out a different color and see. And they look very similar to their shades of color, I have to say. Not really seeing much difference between the two here. One might be slightly more orange, and the other one's slightly more red. But they kind of look the same to me. Alright. Oh, I missed that one up there, didn't I? That bright blue. Thick paint. Let me wipe that off and grab a little bit of water. I want thick stuff. Okay, let's finish up our base coats on our flip-flops. I do want my flip-flops to be bright. We're going to be putting some flowers on them, some kind of 60s style flowers. So I'm unsure of what color to paint the straps. I might want the straps and the base to be the same color. I don't know. We're going to try this purple. It's light purple. And see if I like it. Something more fun. Definitely take 2 coats. So back down to my smaller flat, which this is a size 6. Could go to a round brush to do this as well. So again, this will take 2 coats. So I am going to go off camera and paint on my 2 coats. I'm going to do the edge with this color as well. So paint that edge in. Everything's going to be outlined with black at the end. Okay, so there's the top edge. Let me do the bottom edge on this one. I will go off camera and do the other flip-flop and get the second coats on them both. I'm not picking up very much paint when I go over to my palette. Okay, I need to widen that strap. It's not as wide as that one. I want them to be the same width, so be sure and paint them in accordingly if you've gotten too much paint on the other areas that you have there. Okay, I'm going to do this flip-flop, let it dry, and get a second coat on there. Okay, so I've got 2 coats, and my 2 coats are completely dry now. So just pick some cute little flower petals. I am actually going to grab a piece of tape so I can hold this in place so it won't move around a lot. Alright, let's try this Joyful Pink. So we're going to load it up on our brush, our dry brush. We are stenciling. And then we're going to offload some of that. Not a lot, because we want some bright colors here. So I'm going to pounce this and try and stay off of my purple there. Alright, now I'm just kind of gently rubbing and tapping and filling that in. Trying getting good coverage, trying not to go into any other shape on there. Ooh, how fun is that? Let's put one of those over here, same color. Right up to that purple. I'm going to try and stay off of the purple. If I get on it, I'm not going to worry about it because I can come and touch it up, but you know, I don't want to create extra work for myself. Super cute. Love, love, love. All right, let's go to a different color here. I'm going to go into that bright green. And trying to decide what flower I want to do with that bright green. I think I'll do this flower. Okay, again, I'm going to load it on my brush. Oh, I think I got into my water. So let me go over here and load it and offload it. I'm not offloading all of it, but a good majority of it. This paint still looks pretty wet, so I'm going to be careful not to let it get underneath my stencil and just tap this instead of swirling it, because I feel like I still have a lot of paint on my brush here. Cute. Put one over here. Up to that purple. There's a little bit more paint here. That looks cute. Let's do another one in that color. And let's do maybe this smaller, kind of curvy one. You put your flowers wherever you want them on your flip-flops. They do not have to go in the exact same places that I am putting mine. And there are your flip-flops. Just have lots of fun with them. Pretty. Okay, let's go up here and add one of these small ones up here. Tap and get a little bit more paint on my brush. I'm going to go up to that purple line, or try to go up to that purple line without going over it. Okay. Let's try that yellow. Is probably not going to show up on the background of this, so we're going to go to a different color. I think we're going to go to one of the colors that we used in the background, so maybe the turquoise, because that seems more like a kind of a retro-y color. Okay, I want to put another one of these big flowers on here. Make sure I don't get in that little bitty one there, and manipulate my brush so that I stay off of that purple by tilting my brush and just kind of sneaking up to that. Cute. Let's do one up here. So this one's going to be a little bit different because we are going to be straddling this strap. And a little bit on this side. This brush is a little bit bigger, so I really got to be careful I don't get into that other flower there. That looks cute. All right, I need to get some more in the center of this one, so I'm going to go to a, we haven't used this flower yet, so maybe I'll put that one down here in the center, and I'm going to go back to my pink. Now this is where you can start using some of your other colors. We can use that lavender. Actually, we could mix the lavender and pink together and get a completely different color. So let's do that. Mix the lavender. I just dipped each time into each one, blended it here on my palette. So that's going to give us a whole new color here. We could add some white flowers on here as well. Right up to that purple line. Fun, fun. Okay. I'm going to go back to my turquoise here. I wonder if I mix my turquoise and my spa blue. It's going to get me a light turquoise, it looks like. I don't know if that's going to show much difference on here. Not too bad. It's fun. Okay. I'll go back up here and let's see. I kind of want to try that orangey color. So I think I'm going to take my pink one and go into that orange color that we got there. And clean that off. I'm going to do that a couple of times so I can kind of get some of that pink out of my brush. And we'll do some of this orange. I want these colors to be bright, so if they're not becoming bright, then let's, you know, add more paint into our brush. Okay, it's looking super cute. I want to do another orange one, but a different shape. Oh, got my tape covering that. bright colors, bright colors. Okay. Let's see, what color do I want to use now? I really would love to have some of that yellow on there, but it is probably not. Well, I'm blending it with the green that's in my brush. Maybe that will be a nice bright color. It's pretty light. Pretty light. Not quite as bright as I would like. Okay, I'm going to go back to the pink and I'm going to add some white to it. Quite a bit of white. Really lighten that up. And if you don't like to mix colors, you can certainly get an assorted amount of colors. Like royal fuchsia would be a beautiful color on here. Okay, we're looking pretty good here. I do need to fill in a few places. I'm going to get my white. It won't be pure white because I still got a little bit of that pink in my brush. Whoops. And that doesn't show up a whole lot, but here I'm going to put this shape white. Doesn't look super white. Okay, I need something up there. So, let's see, what other colors do we got here? We got that bluegrass green. Maybe add some white into that. That white was very thick when I put it on there, so I'm going to dry that so I don't lay my stencil in it. I've already laid my stencil in many places here. I'm going to have to touch up. That looks almost pink, so I might have to redo those and put a different color on them. Okay. Oh, that's a pretty color. Just go over those shapes with this color because I don't really like that white. Try and get it lined up there. Not quite, but not too bad. Okay, I feel like I need something right there and something right there. I'm going to go back to that bright pink. flower might be too big. I've got pink there. Maybe we'll do some leaves. How about if we do some leaves? Let's do that. Let's go into that bright green. Mix it with the yellow because I really like that color. Get a lot of that paint out of my brush. Let's see if any of these leaves will show up on here. Okay, and then I'll do the other leaves, and I'm going to do that with the bluegrass color, I think. Maybe the bluegrass and the green mixed together. That might be a pretty color. Make sure you change your directions of stuff. Don't make everything the same. And this is the smaller leaf here. I feel like the bigger one would have been too much. I'm not sure how I want to put this one in here. Color I just mixed. So I was trying to make a darker green, but that did not work out so well. Okay, I want one of these leaves here. It's got a lot of paint in my brush. All right, a couple more. I'm just taking a damp brush and cleaning up there. Where's my bluegrass? Okay, I want just a couple of more leaves on here. Pieces of leaves, not, you know, just a little touch here and there. Doesn't have to be the full leaf, so don't feel like you have to do the whole thing. Just do pieces of it. Okay, I think we're looking pretty good. Nothing has to be perfect here. Just kind of filling in and getting it more full in the background. That's all I'm doing. Just with the different leaf stencils. Any place you want a little bit more color in there. I do have a few places to touch up, but not too many. I think those are looking super darn cute. I think I'm gonna call that done. We're done with our stencil brushes for now. If they're the only stencil brushes that you have, clean them out as best you can on a dry paper towel, and then use some hand sanitizer to remove the remainder of the paint out of it and set it aside to dry. We will use it at the end for our lettering. If you have another stencil brush that you can use, then you can just go ahead and clean the stencil brush that you are using now out. Alright, everything's dry, so let's begin adding some shading on this stuff. So on our lavender colors or purple colors, we're going to begin shading with some dioxazine purple. I'm also going to put some black out because we're going to probably intensify with some black, and also some white because that will probably be our highlight color. Alright, I'm going to use a angle brush to begin my shading. Get some water spritzed out here on my palette. Okay, this is a 3/8 inch, and I'm also going to grab a little bit bigger of one, probably a 1/2 inch to use later. Alright, we're going to start with our dioxazine purple and blend that into our brush. I had too much moisture, so I wiped my paper towel. I'm using a faux squirrel, and it holds a little bit more moisture than the synthetic bristle brushes. So we're going to separate our straps. Also going to create this fold in our strap here. You can't see the fold on that one. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to go to this one and create the fold on it. A little darker than what I want to start with. And then let me grab my chalk pencil so as I can find it. I've moved everything, so now finding what I need is becoming difficult. This goes out like this. Okay. It should kind of mimic that side. And actually, this should actually come all the way out here. Looking good. Okay, let's separate these sandals. And actually, this sandal, this sandal should be on top of that one. So that little purple line right there is the edge of that sandal, and we're going to create a separation here. Okay, I might move down to a smaller angle. Let's see if I got a 1/4 inch one here. I got some areas that I need to make I want to do shading all along the bottom edge of our color at the bottom. So going down to a smaller angle brush is going to help. All the way around. Don't try to get it in one big swoop. Pity pat it. A little bit of paint, water in your brush. Okay, let's do the other one. It doesn't have as much of the sole showing. More paint in my brush here. A little bit of moisture. Okay. We're going to go back to this and we're going to shade. I might have to go back to my bigger brush here. back to my 3/8 inch on these straps. I think it'll be a little bit easier. You see how I'm kind of just pity-patting this.
Go to that.
Okay, let's do this one. Okay, good start there. Okay, on the shoe, we're going to shade underneath our strap, and I think I'm going to use raw sienna for that. I think this will be a good color on top of the yellow base that we did. Work that into your brush so you get a nice soft color. Don't want dark, bold stuff going on here. We want it to be soft and well blended on our brush. I'm going to do this one. This is all of the shading so far. Working that into my brush so it's nice and soft in my brush. How it looks right here on your palette is how it's going to look when you paint. Nothing magical happens between the two places. I think in the very first video I ever created, that was something that I said, and it's been a while since I've made that comment, so I want to make sure that you know that nothing super spectacular or magical, as I would usually say, happens between your palette and how it's blended on your brush and your surface. So how it feels and paints on your palette as you load it, that is exactly what it's going to do for you over here. So that's looking pretty good. Need it to be a little bit wider here. A little bit darker in there. Valley areas. That's looking good. We're going to shade around the sandals on the background. And I want to do that with some Payne's Gray. We're also going to use this color, I think, to maybe shade out here on the outside edge. I might go to it even, my 1/2 inch angle now. Really work that into my brush, get it nice and soft. We're just working on all of our shaded areas right now. I'm going to get a mop brush. No, I can't mop that now. It's already dried. More moisture. Really work that Payne's Gray into your brush. Mop this area. That's going to take some of that choppy look away. We will repeat it so that it doesn't stay choppy. But this, you know, pity patting it is the easiest way to get your floats on there. Just a little bit at a time. Give it a little tap. Mop brushes are used dry. Clean off on a clean damp spot on your paper towel and then dry it on a dry spot. When you're switching between colors, you want to make sure you clean your mop brush because you'll just transfer color and paint someplace you don't want it. Alright, that's our first little shading around that. So let's work on going along the bottom. And, you know, I've got a little bit more moisture in my brush than normal because I have my ceiling fan going. A little bit at a time. Mop it to soften it. Okay, I'm going to go up here to this side. So on these short sides, I can go about halfway. When we go onto the long sides, we'll do about a third, mop it, and then do another third. You want to clean off your mop brush after you mop so you can get that moisture out. It is looking so good. Alright, make sure you've only got paint on that one edge of your brush. If you need to retape and tape on the background color, which is the spa blue color, as you do this floating here, you certainly can if you're worried about keeping it a straight line, although the surface is a postage surface, so it doesn't have to be perfect. We'll do that other side. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so around the sandal should be dry. So we can go in and do our second second float on here. And this is going to smooth everything out. May not need to mop on this float. That's going to be the darkest area right there. Just make sure you've got that moisture in your brush and you're blending out paint right there, because that'll be a little bit of a darker area. Need moisture. Brush was dry and draggy. This will be a dark area right here. And that's a V or a valley or a triangle, however you want to describe it. Those are always going to be your darkest, shadowiest areas. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm cleaning it on a damp spot that doesn't have paint on it and then drying it off so I can remove the paint out of it. Okay, so we've gone around the outside edge and around the sandal, and on the sandal we've done the shading that we need to do there. Put a little bit of narrow that just a little bit where that other sandal sits on top. We'll be highlighting there. Okay. I think we're looking pretty good. Got some. I think I'm going to go one more time on my straps so I can kind of smooth that out a little bit. just darkening up. Especially in these V or triangle areas. Those are always going to be our dark spots. I know I just said that when we were going around the outside, but it's important to always remember. I don't have to go back over every area, but we do want to make sure that we have our darkest areas at least a second time. I think a little bit more down here on this bottom edge. I almost feel like the shading around the outside could use a third coat. Just could be a little bit darker, that Payne's gray color. I really want these to look lifted off of here. I don't want to keep this narrow, so if your float is becoming too tight against your sandal, let it dry and then come back and widen it out a little bit. There will be dark. That's looking like they're more lifted off of there. I like that much better. Okay, that definitely looks much better. All right, I think I will repeat the raw sienna on the shoes. I'm going to add a teeny tiny little bit of black in there. Not a lot, just dirty up that raw sienna. I think this is going to help our shadowy areas become deeper. Okay, I'm just going to put this in my deepest areas. Okay, not putting it everywhere, just the places that need that little bit darker. Shadow. It probably seemed like I put it everywhere, but I didn't. I just did kind of tucking it in. So I'm tucking it in where these straps lay on the shoe up here at the top. Okay, so here, up here, okay, on the outside edge where there's that little triangle right here, these kind of meet. So this one's over this one. We definitely want that shadow to be darker. I'm going to have to darken the shadow up here on this one. Okay. And then I did a little bit up here and here. So at the top on both sides, where it meets on the sides on both sides, and where the straps are on, actually I just did that on the outside edge. And then where the flip-flop comes over the other one. So I think that will take care of our, need to fix that strap. That looks not right. Where's my pencil? Like that. I think I'll come back with some of my base color on that one. Touch that up with a little round brush here. Kind of lost my shape right here. Okay, let me dry that because I gotta redo my shading now. Get it tucked back underneath there. Still looks weird right there. What is going on? I'm not getting my curve right there. Something's not right. Maybe my shape isn't quite right here. I'm still not sure that's gonna look right. See how that side goes out and around? I feel like this side needs to go out and around. But every time I do that, it makes a weird shape on my strap. Right there. Okay, we will leave it there. Alright, so that was all of our shadings on our flip-flops, the straps, the sole, and around the outside on the background. Alright, let's start adding some highlights on here. We're going to do white for our highlight. I'm going to try not to have a ton of water in my brush as I do this. So we're going to highlight our straps. So down here, don't want it in my shadowy area. Do this one. So when I am up on the when I'm painting the very edge, I'm have my brush straight up and down, and I'm using the chisel edge to slide along that right there, and then as I come up into a more fat area, I can start laying my brush down. Okay, I'm up on the chisel edge now. I'm going to finish out this side. And we'll have to repeat this because white it just fades down in there, you know? Okay, so we need to do the sole as well, and on the the bottom part. I'm putting some more clean water on my palette here. Okay, so up here we're just going to create like a curving highlight. And we'll do the same thing down here. So I'm up on the chisel edge just like I was up there. Okay, so down here on the sole, I want to highlight as well with some white on it. I think I'm going to move to my smaller brush here, my smaller angle, which I will mostly stay on the chisel edge. And unless I get into a wider area where I can lay my brush flat. I might want to shade on the yellow part with that raw sienna. I haven't decided that part yet. Okay, so that's the first highlight on everything. And we're going to repeat it. Now, depending on how much moisture you have in your brush when you start doing this, you may need to do this 3 times. And you, again, when you do it the second time, you do not have to do every area that you did before, okay? I do want to smooth this out because it's kind of dry. I'm using a smaller brush, so I do have to load it more frequently. It only carries so much paint so far, so. I'm gonna go out here to the sole and do it in a few places. Again, you know, depending on how well your white paint is going on or how much moisture you have in your brush will determine if you have to do this just 2 or possibly 3 times. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right. That looks good. That's our highlights, and I did it twice. Now I want to add a flower at the top of our sandals. I'm going to do it this way. So we'll place a flower here and here. I think I want to do the bluegrass green with some white. I think that's what color this one is, and I really like that color. You can use any color that you've used within your project. Trying to get some moisture out of my stencil brush. Okay, I'm just going to center it right there on the strap. This is bluegrass green and white mixed together. There's no ratio, just mix it to a color that you like. I'm going to definitely do that more than one time. Get it a little dry there. You don't want to use your heat tool too long on your stencil because it will cause it to curl up. Okay, there's one. Okay, go over to this one and I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, I might dry that one a little bit. Okay, we got 2 flowers on there. Super cute. That one actually looks like it's a little lighter, so maybe I'll put another coat on this one. Try and get it as light as that one. I'm going to take the end of my brush and put a little dot of white in the center of these flowers. We're going to shade around them while that dot dries. Okay, and I think I'm going to shade around these with some Payne's Gray. Let's see how this looks. I'm going to give it some height on here. I'm not going around the entire flower here. I'm starting at the tip, kind of just sliding it down that tip and then coming around into this this area next to the center. Okay, I'm going to have to darken it in a few places here. Almost looks too dark right there. Maybe a little too dark right there. We're going to highlight on the flower. So I think just maybe one time with the Payne's Gray might be enough. On the purple it kind of looks like dioxazine purple, so that's nice. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then we'll finish those off with a little bit of white. Just on the tips, can go either direction. I didn't make them all go the same direction so it wouldn't look like a pinwheel. Okay, that looks pretty cute. Pretty cute, pretty cute. Okay, so now we're going to work on the background and get it completed. So we're going to be outlining some of this stuff and creating some other areas that have black in it. All right, so let's just jump right in. So we're just going to loosely create some black lines on here, okay? And I'm just using this we're not doing anything precise or neat. We don't want it to be exact. It's all fun. Let's see, the circle. Circle I might do something different with. Creating some fun. I don't want you to think too much about it. Okay, that's fun. Okay, so we're going to add a few more other things on here, I think. Oh, let me do this circle up here. I'm just going to create a circle out beside it. You don't want anything precise or exact, okay? Okay, we're going to take this pen and we're going to put a dot, draw a line, and a line, and a line, and a line, and then we're going to draw 2 lines. Doesn't matter what length they are. Okay, I'm going to put a dot on the end of all of these lines. Okay, let's do another one of those. So I only want to do like a half one. So I'm going to have it coming off of the side here. Okay, and we need one up in here somewhere, maybe a little bit smaller one. We'll see if we can make a smaller one here. Alright, like that. That looks super cute. Super cute. Now I originally was going to outline the flip-flops, but I don't think I will. But I'm trying to decide, I think I might outline the stamp, the blue part. But I don't want to outline it like in a solid line. Oh, excuse me. I think I want to do something different. I don't know. I'm going to think about that a second. Okay, I think what I'm going to do, let me get some fresh black paint out. Because we literally only use black in a little bit of a mix. I cannot create a video without my neighbor mowing their yard. I don't know what it is. Every time I sit down to do a video, they start mowing their yard. Alright, I'm going to use the back end of my paintbrush and put some dots along. Maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 1. Just all along the edge here. Let's go up here. If you want your dots to be the same size, you have to do a fresh dot each time. But if you want them to be different sizes, then you can just continue to dot and get different sizes. Okay, that helped it a lot, I think. I'm trying to decide if there's anything else I want to do that. I kind of want to keep it simple but retro. My whole plan for this was to be retro, nothing perfect. I just wanted it to be fun and playful. So I think I accomplished that. I think it looks pretty good. I'm trying to decide if I want to shade out here on the outer edge of this. I did Payne's Gray for my inside edge. Let me see if I'm going to like it. Yeah, I think I'm going to like that. Yeah, that definitely dresses that up. You could use a bright color out here. That would be pretty. Like that joyful pink. Just about went in the black. I don't want to do that. Definitely need more water. That looks pretty good. Okay, I like it. I am going to call that done. Now you don't have to outline with a marker. you can do it with a paintbrush because it's all loose and fun and playful. Nothing is perfect. It's all kind of random. You can also go on the sandals themselves and outline all those flowers. That would be a lot of fun as well. Okay, I think it looks great. Let's do our stenciling of our words on here. So I want to make sure those dots are dry. They're still a little wet because they're a little thick. You should probably do that part after you do the lettering. Okay, so we're going to stencil our words, and I got another small stencil brush I can use here. We're going to do it with black paint. So the word better, let me look at my line drawing. The word better is right here. Okay, I'm going to put a piece of tape on those leaves because I want to make sure I don't get my paint to transfer on those, and then down here. Those are the only two areas I really have to worry about. So we're going to take our black paint and put our word in here, better. I got the tape on my R. So let me straighten that up and reattach my stencil. Hopefully that is okay because I didn't, not sure I got it in the right place. Okay, so we want life is to be up here. Let me dry the word better. We'll close up our bridges here in a minute and do some shading and highlighting, shading behind the letter and highlighting on it. Okay. Then we got life is a little bit above, that. This flower is really close, so I want to tape that off. And maybe that one. And let's get a piece of tape to hold it, make sure it stays in place. Okay. Hopefully I got this stencil on straight. We'll know as soon as I take it up. About got into that flower there. Okay, life is better. Life is better. Okay, and then we're going to do the word flip-flops first down here so that we can make sure that we get our word in the correct place. So I'm trying to remove the tape off of here because it's covering my word flip. Alright, so we're going to put flip-flops down here. Okay, I'm going to tape this stencil down in place. And then I got to see this these two leaves right here need to be, get my dot for my letter I. They need to be taped. So I'm going to tape that one. Make sure I don't get it on my F. I'll put a little piece here. Finish covering up that leaf just to be on the safe side. And then it probably wouldn't hurt to put a piece on that circle. I think the rest of it will be okay. Alright. Make sure we don't go out past the edge of the stencil. You know, oops. Make sure we don't lift it either. If that is a place that you're worried about, then be sure and do a very good job taping that. Covered over my Y here. My P, I guess. Make sure I'm not covering any of my F here. I do like to tap first, kind of get the areas established. What's going on there? Okay, part of my stencil is not. Okay. That's a little messy. That's a little messy. Alright, let's get the word in on here. I think right there. Okay. One of the worst stencil jobs I've ever done. Alright, I don't need this brush anymore, so I'm going to rinse it. I'm going to close my bridges, and then we'll do some some highlighting and stuff. Some shadows. Okay, so we're going to close. Let me zoom in here. Close these bridges. Make it look like it's a solid letter. I'll come down to this one. I'm just using a round brush here. Okay, not the best stenciling, but it is done, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, let me dry this, and then we're going to shadow the letters. I may not need to highlight them after I shadow them. We're going to shadow them with that Payne's Gray. Move my button to wide angle and stuff on my camera, and it's not in a good place for me, so I'm going to have to figure out something else. Okay, fresh Payne's Gray. And let's see if we can get a shadow on these. These areas it might not show up. Well, life looks pretty good. And you can kind of see the shadow. It's hard to see on some of the darker colors of paint, but we're just going on the left and lower edges. That raises it forward a little bit. And you can do this as many times as you want. You know, if you want it really dark like the shadow is on the sandals. Doing the left and lower edges, and I'm just working upside down because it's easier to pull the paint towards me.
and lower. I think I am going to call this one done. I think it turned out so cute. Super, super cute. I'm very happy with it. Very retro looking, which is what I was going for. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. Please be sure and subscribe while you're here. Please give me a thumbs up. Please comment. Please share. Please like. I appreciate you all so much for being here and painting with me today. And I hope you'll come back and join me on the next one. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.